So you got a visa, and then you're wondering, why am I limited to a number of days? For example, let's say you have a US visa or a UK visa that says you cannot stay beyond 180 days. Now, why you're wondering, why wouldn't they let me stay longer? After all, I have a 5-year visa. I should be able to stay longer. Now, it has to do with the nature of visa that you applied for. If you say you are a visitor is someone who is a temporary guest in a particular country. Imagine that you actually stay in a country beyond 6 months to 1 year. You're no longer a visitor, you are a resident. And then residents have responsibilities in that country. For example, taxes, which is one of the major ways that your country, gets revenue. Now, if you are a visitor and then you're taking advantage of everything without paying taxes, they don't want that. But of course, if you're a student, then you're supposed to be there long time. But when you are on a visit visa, you're not allowed to stay beyond the time. For every visit, if you stay beyond the approved time, it means that you have violated the terms of the visa that was granted to you. And what that means is, the next time you submit yourself to the port of entry, you will be questioned, and it would be a reason why you may be returned to your home country, or when you're making a reapplication, your visa would not be granted. And you would ask me why? Because if you're a temporary visitor, the duration of stay on each visit is there to guard against people who might want to obtain a visit visa in disguise and then come in there and live in the country. Now, you would have instances where maybe people would stay 6 months. At the end of 6 months, they would exit, go to another country, maybe spend 2 weeks, come back again, stay another 6 months, just before maybe 5 months and 3 weeks they exit, they come back again. Can you do that? Well, the answer is yes, you can do that. But you should also understand that at the port of entry and at any time when you're submitting yourself to renew your visa, the interviewing officer would take into consideration your activities in that country in the past years, or for the validity of that particular visa that was issued to you. They would like to check, okay, where does this person spend the most of their time? Is it in the country where they say they reside, or is in our country where they claim to visit? And so you would say, oh, when I leave the country, they don't stamp me out, so they don't know when I leave. Well, airlines are mandated to submit data of visitors, entering and also exiting the country to the government. And so you might say, oh no, they don't have the time to go figure out. Yeah, that's correct. But imagine if they're trying to solve who is a problem. If they're trying to solve a problem, or they have questions and they require answers, it's very simple. They are going to be referring to records. Now, most times when you submit your passport for for your visa, your passport has entry and exit stamps. So if you say you left country A and then you're going to country B, country A may not stamp you out, but country B will stamp you in. For example, you're leaving the US, when you were leaving, you didn't meet any border officer, they just go and just want you to go. No one said anything to you. But you arrived at another country. That country actually stamped you in. Now, when you submit your passport, they are able to review your travel record to see, what you did, where you got your next stamp after you left their country. And most times you would find that in your visa application form, they would ask you, because by providing that information, you're making it easier for them to make reference to it. They would ask you the last time you were in the US and how many days you stayed, and that would just help them, decide if you spend most of your time in their country or if you spend it, outside the country. So if you say you're on a visit visa, which is a temporary visa, you want to ensure that you're applying for the right visa. You do not stay beyond the time that your visa allows you to stay, which would be indicated on your visa, so there won't be any room for doubt. It would be indicated on your visa. You would have duration of stay. Maybe visa validity might be from this period to this period. It could be as much as 5 to 10 years, but duration of stay would have either 30 days, 90 days, or 180 days. I think the 180 days is the highest that I have seen. So ensure that you do not stay on each visit. You do not stay more than 180 days. Now, you would ask me, in the case of an emergency, maybe something happened, you fell ill, your passport got, then you would need to have evidence to show that that was the case, because when it is being called in question, you would need to prove. And when you have documents, documents and evidence to show that, let's say you had a surgery, you were ill, something happened, there was an emergency and you could not leave, that would actually help prove, just help you through that process. So I hope that this information is useful. I hope that you would not violate the terms of the visa that is granted to you, just so you would improve your chances of getting a renewal when you submit yourself for a renewal next time. So I hope this was useful. Have a good day, and if you do have any question, leave it here. I always encourage people to leave questions, because it's from the questions that I get that I'm able to put out videos here to help you. So I hope that this was useful. Have a good day. Bye.